Hello, Student Council advisors from the Advisors Workshop. I was driving home, and I don't know if you've ever had this moment where you're like driving home and then you're like, oh man, I didn't even address this, or I forgot to mention this. You ever had that? So I figured that I would just take an opportunity to create a super short video just to answer a question too. And it also came up in the feedback. Thank you for your feedback. It was really fun to sit down with all those Post-it notes and take a look at what worked for you for the day, for our time together, and then what also could have been improved. So thank you so much for your honest feedback. I really appreciate it. So one of the things that came up was, okay, we've got the line. We understand the four things below the line: blame, justify, deny, and quit. We understand that below the line is the victim role. This is the external locus of control. We also understand this is the above the line, which is the victor over here, which we understand and recognize we have freedom in our lives, we have power in our lives, we have choices in our lives as humans. And so we also know that we as humans have the ability to respond. So we got the line all labeled and talked through, but the part that came up is like, well, how do I use this? So living above and below the line, which again comes from quantum learning at quantumlearning.com, is an awareness piece. It is not a discipline piece. It is not a behavior piece. It is not you clipping things up and down. It's none of that. What it is it's an awareness piece. So what I have done is I've played the whole Simon Says game with my students. If you want some clues on how to get those students out, let me know. I'll be happy to share. But play the Simon Says game, have the same reactions, and then label the line, just as we did in our time together. The follow-up is, or how it is used, is an awareness piece in coaching conversations. So there's a question that's really helpful when talking about the line, and here's the question. Just, where are you living? Not, you're below the line, although we might feel like doing that sometimes. That's not it. Okay, can say that in our heads, but the question is just like, hey, where are you living right now? Or when you respond this way, where are you living? Also, again, it comes from the model from the front of the room, is that my students could ask that of me in a respectful way. We had to learn how to do that with boundaries, but they can absolutely ask that of me too, like if a situation came up. But even more powerful than that is that when we recognize it in ourselves, is stop and be like, wait a minute, that was below the line. And catching ourselves in it is just a fantastic model of taking ownership and being a victor and recognizing that we have choices. Also in those conversations, these are not done in front of the class, right? We do our best that we can to not humiliate students or call people out in front of the class, but these are quiet side conversations. You can call characters out in books, whatever you want to do to continue to build that understanding. But we can also talk about, like, if you say to someone, where are you living? I don't care. Okay, right? You get the apathetic response. So just understanding too, like the messages that we send. So remember, lay blame is other people control me. Justify was I'm no different than anyone else, or I'm just like everybody else. Deny, I wrote down here, I'm a liar. And quit is I don't have what it takes. And these aren't messages that we want to send out into the world about who we are. So those are good conversations too of like, hey man, this is the message that's being sent. That's not who you are. Okay, so how could we take more ownership in this situation? So where are you living is the question that is asked. Coaching private conversations. And again, it's an awareness piece. Awareness of how much power we have in situations. Okay, so just wanted to share that little tidbit. A couple of you have emailed me and asked to be on my email list, so please remember, if you would like to do that, go ahead and send me an email at Sherry_Murphy@Comcast.net. That's SHARI_Murphy@Comcast.net. We will be having some public workshops probably coming up I think we're going to try and do one this fall. So that'll be somewhere in the Chicago area probably, unless somebody else around the state would like to host it. We just have to fill it. Anyway, if you want information on that, please let me know or send me an email and I'll put you on my email list. And I hope all is going well with your student councils and your home schools.